What's up, everyone? It's your boy, Stump. I tweaked my shoulder while I was picking up to put your mom on my... Never mind. What's up, everyone? It's your boy, Stump, and welcome back to Rank 101. Turning news to pros since 2020. Today, we're going to take a look at a player called Joutavia. Joutavia, yes. They're a gold 3, and their game brings us to Village. And if you want to submit your ranked game for the next Rank 101, then hop on over to my Discord server with the link in the description and check out the Rank 101 channels. Make sure you follow all the rules so that way you have a better chance of getting into the next Rank 101 video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this match. All right, round 1. You bought a deagle instead of armor. This is fine, but armor would be preferred at your rank. But you really shouldn't be buying a deagle unless you are in diamond, high diamond, or master. You also got to know how to use the deagle as well. So you're going to get a lot of spread if you just try and spam the deagle. It's very inaccurate, very imprecise. The better way to use the deagle is to tap fire it. The best way to find the rhythm to tap fire your deagle is to do it to the BPM of Staying Alive. Staying alive, staying alive. It's dumb, but it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But anyways, let's see what he can do with the deagle. Okay, you're swinging and shooting into a smoke with no info. There's no reason to be shooting into that. I wouldn't be shooting through a smoke unless you start hearing players' footsteps on the other side. And I know you're sounding in this game because you react to sound a lot of times. Some good, some bad. We'll go over that in this video here as well. Yeah, just shooting into a smoke like that automatically just gives away your position and they know exactly where you are. And exactly right there. That's exactly why you don't buy deagle with no armor on the first round, especially at gold. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah, this guy, he edited out everything after his death, so it's gonna go pretty fast for this video, so we're just gonna keep rolling with it. All right, round 2. You are running backwards, and you are running sideways. Yeah, this messes up your timing a lot. So this game requires a lot of timing to be able to actually run specific strats. If you don't have the timing right, the strat's not going to work. And also I have written down here for round 2, this is slower than running forward. No shit. All right, right here, you're holding an angle your teammate is clearing. This lets the breach just push onto A site. Again, the timing thing. If you're going to play that swing angle for the coalition on an A site for Village, then you're going to need to get there as fast as you can. You also need to use utility as well. And because you guys lost that first round, you don't have any utility. You're just going eco right now. So you can see exactly what I just said is about to ready to happen. The smoke goes down again, and then this guy swings you. You probably could have gotten him if you were able to react a little bit quicker to readjusting. Your crosshair placement was fine. You were just a little slow to readjust your aim there. All right, round 3. You could buy full nades here. You could, but you just buy an incendiary. That's fine. That is perfectly normal. It's perfectly fine to just buy one utility. I would have personally went with a smoke and a flash because those could be used in a more broader spectrum of uses. Yeah, incendiary is pretty good too. You would have also had no money if you bought full utility there as well. And if you guys lose this round, then you're kind of broke. So you can't really help. Okay, here, this incendiary.
Incendiary out.
That's not a bad incendiary. It's not a good one, but it's not bad. But there is a better one. So the utility you want to throw for A-site if you're going to play this swing angle over here is you're going to want to throw a flash over this roof like this. That's going to blind anyone pushing up into A-site. Then after you throw that flash, you're going to run up to this wall right here. And you're going to notice this brick wall that's right back here. It's going to be this wall. Right here you're going to be aiming at. And you're going to run and jump throw the incendiary from behind the wall. Looking at that back wall there, that's going to keep them from pushing out into A site from A main. Because throwing no flash over and just throwing this incendiary right here is going to give them an opportunity to just push through onto A site because you give them so much time to push all the way through. All right, here. This is where I know you're sounding because you're waiting for him to push. Yeah, you heard him, but you swung too early and you kind of tried to wallbang him. But your team was able to clean it up for you. All right, round 4. You don't buy full utility. I've said before, I'll say it again. You need to buy full utility whenever you can, and you obviously can right here. So when you're going, throw the flash over, then you throw your incendiary right there, and you throw your incendiary here. No, that is very bad, because as you saw there, when you threw that, there are players sitting right here. You're throwing a nade into choke point exposed. That's not how you throw nades. You want to throw nades from behind cover. And like the utility I showed you earlier, that'll help you set up A site a lot better. You get tagged for a couple shots here. You get a kill here, that's good. There could still be more players A main.
Toss and flash.
You flash your teammate. I flash it and land. And lucky headshot. Holy crap. Lucky ass headshot. All right, round 5. You stick with the M4. You buy utility. Yes, he buys full utility. But you take way too long in the buy menu. You need to have a plan of attack before the game starts, especially on the coalition. You could just play one position and just get away with it. Like, you need to know your utility lineups, you need to know your positions, you need to know your timings, you need to know your rotate routes to get to B site. So if you're playing on A site the entire game, then that would be some things to keep in mind as well. And here we're going to see why this is a bad incendiary.
Incendiary out.
It's running out right there. You throw it over the wall too, which it kind of gives him more of an opportunity to push in. All right, round 6. Rebuys incendiary, okay. It looks like he's going to play B site. Yeah, playing B site. Interesting position here. You're jump spotting into a tree. Jump spotting into a tree, and your crosshair is on a wall. Your crosshair is on a wall. And when a player swings right here, you're able to spot him, but you're slow to react, slow to readjust, and you... Oh boy, oh boy. You saw him run up, right? You saw him run up back here? Okay, so you spot him while jumping right here. You should have crosshair right here, ready for him to swing, and then you would have been able to have gotten him. If you wouldn't have fallen off those boxes, just stayed there, had your crosshair at the ready, you would have been able to just take him out. And if there was anyone else, like this guy, you would have been able to readjust and swing into him. But since he ran past, you got to know that he ran past. He's not just going to stay there. He's going to rush you because he thinks you're still holding that angle that player was shooting at you from, and he's going to try and backstab you, which is what he's doing here. And you decide to throw an incendiary here. He's about ready to take a picture of you right now with that deagle. Oh man, yeah. You just got to pay attention to how players are pushing, because if he's pushing up, he didn't even look at you. He was just pushing straight into you. And you guys somehow won that round, which is great for you. All right, A side again.
Flashbang out.
All right, they throw it on a smoke. I like that off angle. I actually like that off angle. Because when you're holding this off angle right here, it forces, because they have that smoke down, it forces them to swing out into you and into those 3 other angles there. I'm not exactly sure what smoke they're throwing, but it's probably something like this.
Throwing a smoke grenade.
So if they clear this, they'll come and clear this, but you'll be standing right there ready to take them out if they're not paying attention. But you get the point. You get the point. This angle provides you with a bit of a surprise attack on the opposing player here. And again, you're kind of slow to readjust here. Yeah, so you start shooting as he's going by. You are slowly trying to readjust back to his head, which your crosshair placement's okay here. You probably could have gotten a headshot if you were able to readjust quicker. It seems like to me you're trying to aim at where they were instead of aiming at where they're going, because you're afraid they're just going to strafe back and try to get you to miss. But at this level, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Everyone's just going to be rushing. But yeah, aim at where they're going, not where they were. All right, let's see.
Smoke out.
Incendiary. Incendiary's okay. And you're aiming at a wall again. Yeah, you should have your crosshair pointed at where the enemy is going to be appearing from, not standing behind a wall like this, because this isn't holding anything. You need to aim your crosshair with a purpose. And where you're aiming your crosshair serves no purpose in this moment. And also for your teammate here, who threw the smoke, for your teammate who threw the smoke, he's also trying to hold A main with you. Just because you throw a smoke doesn't mean that a player won't push through it. They will, and this player does. Because he's holding...
Fire in the hole!
He's looking at A main. A player pushes through alley here, and he gets attacked on you. You're able to get a headshot on him, which is nice. And now, at this moment, I would probably be focused on readjusting back to A main. But instead, you're just holding this angle here. Ah, he's reacting to sound. Yeah, I know you're sounding. I know you're sounding because of that. A good reaction to sound there. All right, round 9. Let's see what you do. Throws that incendiary again. All right. That is a bad flash because that flashes your teammate, and that is where the breach could be pushing from. All right. Anyways, let's see what you do the rest of this round. Okay, so he pushes the smoke, gets your teammate. You hear him on the right. You pick the wrong angle. If you heard him pushing on the right, you most likely should have noted that he was probably going to push the back of sight to clear that. You could have swung him and taken by surprise. This is fine, except when he kills your teammate, you're able to get the refrag, which is fine. All right.
Bomb has been planted.
Now the bomb is planted, and now it's just you and your teammate against 3... Never mind. It's just you against 3 breach players. And I have written down here that you save as well. And this is a really good choice to save here. Excellent choice to save. Your team's up by 2. It's completely fine. You picked up an SG. Plus, if anyone tries to run off the bomb site, you know, you could get an easy exit frag. Oh, look at that. Exactly what I just said happened is going to happen. All right. Round 10. Oh boy, I have a lot to say about round 10 apparently. Yeah, so apparently one of your players is complaining about B site, and you end up sending way too many players to B site. So you got 1, 2, 3 players. Honestly, you should have just kept playing A site like you have been for the entire game, but going B site like this leaves your team with 1 player to hold A site. You need at least 2 players to hold A site. And this puts you in an unnecessary position which holds nothing of value. You could hold that angle behind you, but then again, you only really need 1 other player playing on B site to hold this long angle here. Especially if they have a ratio, they can use that to hold this angle right here and get some shots off. Yeah, so you're just holding nothing of value. You don't know where to play on B site right here. And your mid player goes down, and your second mid player actually takes down the bomb, which is your only saving grace for this round. So you end up rotating and try to help with the backside. You still have 1 player on A site. You know there's players pushing mid. You got the bomb. You hear them on the right. You react to them. You swing them. Good. Could have had better crosshair placement there, but it's fine. You react to the sound. Also, your minimap radius, you need to have it larger because you will be able to have seen that your teammate was pushing A main. So you could have went onto the site to hold his back. But you throw that incendiary to keep them from pushing up to the bomb, which is fine. Then this leaves this player to throw their Cindy onto these stairs. And you get the kill through the Cindy too, which I had a hard time spotting the first couple of times.
Coalition
Good
wins.
shot. I like that. Anyways, round 11. You throw the incendiary again.
Flashbang out.
Bad flash. Blinds yourself. No, that was bad. And also right here, you see 2 players pushing alley. And you chase this player down, put yourself in a crossfire between this guy and this guy right here. And the guy backstabbed you. You see this question mark? That's where he was shooting from. He backstabbed you. Round 12. Last round before the flip. All right. You throw the incendiary. That's fine. And you take this position here. This is not a good position. In fact, it is the worst position you can take on A site because you have no cover and you have nowhere to retreat to if you get to taken under fire. Plus, you're exposed to so many crossfires. It's just not a good spot. The only thing that this has going for it is that it's an off angle. However, it's really easy to counter. Also, I just want to point out, your team just feeds everybody A main. Ah, you hear them here. That's why you swung that. Let's listen. Alright, So you hear them running, and you swing this, thinking they're pushing up. So you pre-fire it. But since they're not here, you should automatically know, oh, they're pushing up mid. I should be ready to take that firefight. But instead, you just go back to the same spot, and now your team is dead. It is the 1v5. Not a position you want to be in. Yeah, so now you know there's players A main, there's players going to be pushing from CT, and you just reach. That's not good. So before we switch rounds, I'm going to show you guys the default positions you're going to want to play for the Coalition on Village. So the first default position you'll have access to is going to be B site. More specifically, this angle right here with the ratio. This is a default position right here you want to play. You could also hold it with an assault rifle, or you could hold with an assault rifle right here, or with a ratio as well, but the timings are to make it so you're swinging out into the players. So that's not really optimal position for the ratio. A better position is right here. Then your next default position is going to be a player pushing through B site all the way to the top roof here, so you can help his top mid player right here, which is the next default position. You could also hold this with the ratio as well. And this jump takes practice to get you to be able to jump up here and get onto it. I have a hard time getting up here, so I don't usually go top mid a lot. So yeah, the player top mid can jump up here to the roof to get a quick rotate to B site. And then you're going to need at least 2 players for A site. One of them to hold players pushing from alley, which could be held right here. Or from inside the site, like this. Or even like this. You just gotta make sure you're not too far out so that when you're exposed to A main, you can hold this from right here just fine and you won't be exposed. Because you will have your A main player hold the swing angle like this. See how I automatically just swing and look close to this wall? Because a lot of players will push close to this wall, try to get around the corner. Sometimes you'll find them pushing to the right side, and if that is the case, you can just fall back and then you just wait for the push. The next round, round 13, you finally decide to buy armor on the breach. Awesome. Good choice. I like it. I like it a lot. It is one of the best choices you could possibly make in this situation right here. And you all decide to go A site, and the bomb is down. I also noticed in this game that you guys do not like to play with the bomb a lot. You keep dropping it, and it ends up just back at spawn. You guys decide to go B here. Yeah. Your coalition is okay. Your breach definitely needs some work, especially on this map.
Bomb has been planted.
And here's the reason why. Because your teammate goes down mid, and you don't react to it at all. You're still holding this angle. The guy is pushing you right now. He's getting ready to backstab you. He's literally going to stab you in the face. Hold you. He's going to stab you in the face if you're not paying attention. Which is why you need to have good map awareness, good mini-map awareness. You're also sounding. You also heard that gunfight go down as well. So round 14, I have here, you and your team looks lost and you're not sure what to do because nobody picks up the bomb and you got one guy AFK. If all else fails, then you should be the bomb carrier because you guys are just playing in positions that aren't really helping anything here. Your team just gets backstabbed and it just doesn't go well. That was a terrible round. Terrible round. And it looks like they like to push a lot. You also buy an SG and armor. You bought an SG and armor. Oh, dear Lord. This is one of those players, isn't it? Never, ever, ever buy the most expensive weapon when you could buy low and buy utility. 100% will get traded out. I am not joking. So you guys go A main, that's fine. Dodge both flashes, good. You hear him pushing. You got him. Crosshair placement could have been a little bit better. You were close. Anywhere between 5 and 15 meters, you want to have your crosshair at headshot level. Anything beyond 15 meters, you can aim at chest level and just let the recoil do its work. Especially at this level, learning recoil patterns is going to be a bit difficult, especially for all the weapons. Team's locking this down pretty good. You hear someone pushing behind you, I think. Yeah. You hear pushing from A main.
Bomb has been planted.
And your teammate flashed you. Crosshair placement. Again, you were within 10 meters, you could have had headshot, but your teammate was able to get the frag kill, which is nice. Now you're out of money because you decided to buy the SG and armor and no nades. So yeah, now you're going to have to buy the AK and nades and still have little to no money. So you bought your flashbang and an incendiary. And nobody takes the bomb again.
Suck on this.
Honestly, your team could have done the exact same thing you did last time when taking A site. You could have just pushed mid the way you did. But instead, you all just decide to play slow and not get any kills. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if it worked last time, you could probably get away with it again. Also, your recoil control for the AK definitely needs work. And also, your teammate on ramp, they're kind of sold because he was just sitting there and he kind of just let him pass. Yeah, AK recoil needs work. So I think it would be a good time to show you what you should be doing as the breach when pushing A site. So some simple utility to keep in mind when pushing A site is this flash right here. You jump on this roof, and you throw the flash past the tree. That's going to flash anyone pushing into A site. Then after that flash goes, you can throw this smoke right here. This smoke will block players trying to swing out this angle here. It'll also block the swing angle right here, so you're able to push through to the right.
Smoke out.
That's actually a lot better right there. There's also an incendiary grenade you can throw right here. Aim right here at this light. Aim up to this corner of the roof. Line it up so it's parallel. And you one step jump throw. I sure hope it's stuck. I would hate for it to not have stuck. Ah, perfect. A little deeper could work. The idea is to get it right here before the coalition tries to push through. So that way they take damage pushing in. Also, instead of throwing the flash over the roof, you could also flash quick like this. And then
Smoke out.
throw the smoke here. Then you can get a lock onto this angle here. If you're going alley, then you're going to want to throw this smoke like that. So you're able to push up into alley without getting spotted by the top, the mid roof player. Jesus Christ. And you can push up here, throw a flash over. You also throw a Cindy in the back here, in case anyone's trying to hold that. So yeah, just some simple utility to keep in mind so you're able to actually push onto the site.
Smoke grenade coming up.
You're able to get in, get some frags. Alright, round 17. You guys played slow in this round, which kind of worked out for you. And it's okay to play slow on the breach sometimes, especially if the coalition is getting very aggressive and they don't seem to stop pushing. You can punish the coalition by doing that. You hear him here? Yep. Again, crosshair placement could have been better. Alright, so now you know he's pushing up. Kind of baited your teammate here, but it's fine. You got the kill at the end. You made up for it by getting the trade. Totally fine. Sometimes you gotta play for info. And you knew the guy was there, he was pushing, but you didn't know exactly if he was alley or if he was going up mid. Round 18. Oh boy. This one's also a lengthy one. Ah, a lurk smoke. Lovely. Lurk smokes tend to work, especially if you think it was a smoke grenade thrown by mistake, which could really throw off your opponent. Alright, here you can hear them running around you right now. You can hear them running up tunnels, probably going to main road there. You also hear them pushing up A main, and you're not responding to it. You should have your crosshair right here, preferably a little bit higher, right about there. And you should be holding that, because you heard them pushing up A main. And you get out your smoke and you almost get killed here because of it. So he had the AUG, and then this guy comes in. He's got the AK, so you know there's at least one more player on A site that is still there because that was the AK guy. There's still one more who has the AUG. And you get your flash out, and he just swings you. Oh, no, wait, it was the M4, my bad. Sorry. But yeah, you can sound, you're just not sounding very well. You're getting all this information and you're doing nothing with it, or you're just completely ignoring it, or it's not registering. All right, round 19. Your crosshair placement is not in a good position here. If we go back a little bit, your crosshair should be up here because players can swing from up here if you're not pushing fast enough. Your teammate could also see players pushing from up here as well, but you should always have your crosshair at a position where a player could swing from.
Smoke out!
Yeah, you're aiming at the ground. If you would have swung that, crosshair positioning is right at their feet. If you would have swung that and someone was sitting there, you would have been dead. 100% guaranteed. And you're still holding this angle that your teammate has already cleared. And your teammate gets the 2 AFK players. Cool. That's unfortunate for them to have 2 AFKs. Holding this. I can't see through the pixels. Yeah, you're aiming at the ground. That's not good crosshair placement. Good spot on the radar. That lets your teammate know where the other player is. And you run with your knife out. If the location of the last player is not known, do not run with your knife out. Play off of sound. Play off of intel. All right. Round 20. Ooh. Looks like your teammate decided to put down the lurk smoke. I mean, it kind of didn't work last time because no one really pushed it, but now there is one player pushing. You hear him on the right. You get him. Good. And your teammate goes down. You gotta miss him, and you start to panic, and you die. You gotta be paying attention to your information, because you know there's a player pushing on your right. He's good. Your teammate goes down. You should have pushed him, because he was reloading. Because he spent all of his bullets trying to kill your teammate. He has to reload. You should have pushed him and swung the corner on him. Because the time it would have taken him to reload, it would have been enough time for you to go and swing him. Then you would have been able to handle this guy playing on a ramp, but you panic because you miss all your shots. You have 17 bullets. That's still plenty of bullets. That's more than half your magazine. And you pull out your knife in a 1v4. I think you meant to switch back to your AK right here. It's the little things. It's the little things. All right, round 21. Looks like you are going to rush B mid. Yeah, no. If there was someone holding mid roof there, you all would have been dead. So if you want to push mid to go B, there's a couple things you got to do. First, you got to get a player in mid here to throw an incendiary over this roof and hit it somewhere over here. Because this player has enough room to be able to swing this, clear this, aim to the top of this tree, jump throw this incendiary, and keep the player pushing from B site to top mid here from getting onto the roof. And then for the players going B mid, there's a flashbang right here you can throw. Stand in the middle of this doorway, aim at the corner of this roof, and then aim straight, and then just do a simple jump throw. This will flash any players in top mid, and you'll be able to push up, be able to take these fights here. You could also Cindy from this position right here as well.
Tossing incendiary.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. If you throw the flash, then the Cindy, then you'll be able to get the top roof player, mid roof player. Damn it. Yeah, you guys get real lucky with not having any players in mid to contest.
Planting bomb.
Bomb plant position's okay.
Bomb has been planted.
Where's your post plant position? Behind the wall. And yeah, you can't jump out of that box, man. I've tried. Yeah, your teammate gets one. Teammate goes down. You're not reacting to information again, and now they're defusing the bomb. You're able to get this really nice headshot on this guy, but you're full blind, and you kind of get stuck back here, and you kind of have to push the bomb diffuser because you have no time. Well, first of all, you should have been holding mid from either back here or from next to this wall. Your teammate gets down. You should have been swinging out, checking, and trying to catch them off guard because there were 2 players there, and he takes out the player on B site too. You kind of put yourself in a bad position there to be able to make a play. All right, round 22. All right, you spend a little bit of time staring at a wall. Crosshair placement is at their dicks again. Better crosshair placement, but that swing there, you could have been picked off by your ratio player right here. See that? You're holding this, and this is open. A player with your ratio could easily snipe you if you're not careful. So you gotta be aware of your position. You should have stayed closer to the wall to clear this, and then swing out. You eventually clear it, but you're aiming at their dicks again. And you're pushing into mid with the bomb. You have B site all yourselves, and you guys just you don't push B site with bomb, which is not good. All right, 2 players are pushing from mid. 1 player gets one. There's 1 more mid. There he is. And you just let that guy get $1,500 with that knife kill. You let this guy kill 2 players, 1 with a gun and then 1 with a knife. So you're just hiding behind a wall. You let him kill 2 players. That's way too much money for their economy. You don't want to give them an opportunity to make any kind of money for their economy. You want to keep them as low as possible. Even if they're on a losing streak, you want to keep them from making any sort of financial recovery. Especially with that knife kill, now they're able to buy AUGs the next round. But yeah, you bait a lot in this game, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's very bad, and that was a very bad bait. All right, going A site through alley, and you're pushing onto site with no utility, and then you just start breakdancing. And you just push on the site. I don't know whose flash that was, but good job going into that smoke. I will give you points for that. You kind of gave yourself some cover there. It was kind of like a lurk smoke.
Smoke out!
Like the one you just threw there. So if you're going to take A site from mid like you just did, you're going to need to know the utility lineups, which one of them's right here.
Smoke out!
Throwing the smoke grenade, which blocks the top roof player, mid roof player, and then you're going to throw this incendiary.
Incendiary out!
You'll be able to push in. You can even flash over.
Cover your eyes!
Then you can swing it. Swing this, check this, and you can check this corner before you check here. But if you're not sure where to check, you could always throw a smoke grenade right
Throwing
here.
a smoke grenade!
Not like that, like this.
Throwing a smoke grenade!
So you can give yourself some extra cover to be able to play around and then be able to push onto the site. Because smoke grenades are really good for creating cover where you need it most. So if you have trouble figuring out where you need to check, use a smoke and create hard to hit angles. And you kind of just let your teammate die here. And he kind of gets lost trying to find the bomb, which is crazy. Well, at least you apologize for baiting. That's good to know. Games like Critical Ops are information-based, so the more information you can gather on your own, the better off you are. And sometimes it requires you to use information your teammates gather if they do go down to be able to play off of it and be able to make plays yourself. And there's a difference between good baiters and bad baiters. Bad baiters only get information from their teammates and can't play off of it, but good baiters can get information themselves and use the information that their teammates give them through the radar, through sound cues, etc. So yeah, you need to get better at information gathering and be able to understand and dissect what the information you're being given is trying to tell you, because it can help you in a lot of situations. All right, round 24. This is the last round. All right, teammate gets the top player. That's good. Like that. Better crosshair placement this time. I will give you that.
I'm gonna blind him.
This guy's utility is actually pretty decent.
Incendiary out!
I like that incendiary. I like that incendiary because it pushes him out. You see that, right? You saw that? This incendiary right here. You throw it over.
Incendiary out!
It hits this guy. He's forced to push out. You're able to get eyes on him. He's out from behind cover. You take the shot and you get him. Good incendiary. Your teammate, however, is kind of stupid for pushing through it. All right, teammate died mid. You hear him pushing. What, bro? How in the world did you? Okay. You really need to work on how you collect information because that was pretty bad. So let's just go over what we got here. You hear him in mid. He takes out the player belong. You push through mid, trying to see where he came from. He's pushing behind you. He could have backstabbed you, and you still get the kill through the wall. I am amazed.
Suck on this.
I don't know what that utility was for. That could help.
Flashbang.
Okay, he is pushing from mid. teammate goes down. Your teammate able to get the kill. Not bad. Not a great game, but also not a horrible game. Also, you do get 20 kills, which is good. Do we see scoreboard at the end here? No, we do not. Okay. So for the summary for this video that I have here, your coalition A-site utility needs work. You're slow to react to information. There were some instances where you heard them running down a certain area, but you didn't react to it at all. You're also slow to readjust your aim, especially when you're aiming at a player that just swung and they swing past your crosshair. You need to aim at where they're going, not where they were. You also bait a lot. A lot of not good instances of baiting. You get teammates killed and you just let your opponents just get a knife on your teammate as well, which is not good either. You still end up winning the rounds though, which is okay, but there could have been a lot less damage done. And you also barely use any utility on the breach. I showed you some utility in this video for both the coalition and the breach, and also some positions to play to keep in mind the next time we play on Village. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys learned something. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, stay safe. Bye-bye.